I don't know what to say, I mean, I seen this coming, so I can't get too upset. I can't sit there like, oh, this and that, this and that. I knew this was going to happen. I told you guys this. I said there could be an upset get pulled, but I don't see it happening. I expected more than 7 points from this offense. Carson Wentz played probably the worst game of his career. And, I don't put blame on him. I mean, I do. He had a bad game. The one interception early on hurt. But the two others, like I told my friend I was watching the game with, he's like, oh, another pick, another pick. I'm like, look, really, at this point, go for broke. I mean, you got nothing to lose. You're down 38-7, 48-7 at one point, but 38-7. Just start throwing the ball around. I mean, just go deep. I mean, even if there's not even a deep route concept inside the game plan, just go deep. I mean, we can't be sitting here dinking and dunking all day, throwing short passes, which Alshon's dropping them on 4th and 1 and stuff like that, okay? Or running the ball. We got to go for broke, dude. We need scores. We need to get downfield. So heave it. I don't care. Bombing. And, they weren't bad plays. I mean, they weren't good plays, But, I mean, I agree with it. I would have done the same thing if I was a quarterback. I would have been, look, let's get a couple first downs here. Check. Then just try to get something downfield. The offensive line was terrible today. Jason Kelce got hurt early on, and I was like, God damn. So Wisniewski came in. He was messing up on his blocks. But once again, like I said before, Josh Adams, which it took 11 games now for the Eagles to finally start giving him some carries, rips off a 28-yard touchdown like that. Boom. Like just right through touchdown. And that point, I think they were only up 17. So they're up 17. We were down nothing. We got 7 points off Josh Adams, a 28-yard run. I'm like, there you go. Now we're still in the second half. This is before they went up 24-7. We're starting to run the ball a little bit. I'm like, all right, this is smart. Play keep away. This is how you win the game. Play keep away with their offense because their defense isn't that good. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is what you got to do. Start running the ball a little more. So they start running, and I'm looking at them. Like, okay, they're starting to do the game plan that I said in my preview video what they should do and they should have done, and they went away from it. And they're running the ball with Clement, and they're running the ball with this guy, and I'm like, well, what's going on? But and it's funny because the whole team, you can't blame one person. This whole team, this defense is bad. And a lot of people are saying fire Jim Schwartz. And, I'm kind of like leaning towards that part, that wagon, But I look at it and I go, yo, we fire him. Who could we really bring in who's as good as him? Let's be honest here, okay? The defense sucks right now, okay? But we got to at least give a little bit of excuse, which I don't hate to give excuses out to everyone because it does fall on coaching. It does fall on the players. We're down. Like, the whole secondary's done. You lost Darby, okay. You lost Mills, which he'll probably come back next week, whatever. But you lost him. Roddy McLeod was the first one to go down. That hurt like mad. Then today, Maddox gets hurt. So he's out for a little bit. Sidney Jones is off and on the field. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. A couple more injuries we had. Jordan Hicks got hurt. There's a couple of people. And the secondary just kept getting, people were going down. I think Trey Sullivan went, someone else. There was all those people going down. The only person left in the secondary that's even a starter is Malcolm Jenkins. God forbid he gets hurt. That would be terrible. And you look at it, and you look at that thing, that part of the spectrum, and you go, you know what? I give Jim Schwartz a little bit of a pass, but get a little bit pass because they're all banged up. I mean, like, what can you do? And but then you look at the other side and you go, well, we have like an elite defensive line. Like, this is like, in my personal opinion, the best defensive line in the NFL. I mean, the Bears right now, because they got Khalil Mack, which is one player, and they got Hicks and whatever. But we got Fletcher Cox, who's arguably the best DT inside the league. You got Michael Bennett, who you added from the offseason. Derek Barnett, who is hurt out for the year, which hurts like hell. Trust me, it does. Timmy Jernigan still hasn't even played. He still hasn't done nothing. I'm sorry, done nothing. He hasn't got on the field yet. And he was hoping to play this week, and he hasn't been able to. Okay? But you still got backups like Lodi Nada, Chris Long, this guy, that guy. That plethora of that defensive line is stacked. And then you look at the Saints, Left tackle out. Drew Brees' blindside. What do is you dial the damn blitz up. This guy does not blitz. Okay, and that's what pisses me off. You got a line like this, and you're not going to blitz. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Any defensive coordinators in this league would kill for this defensive line. And Nigel Bradham, outside linebacker, and whoever else. And safety Malcolm Jenkins. And Rodney McLeod when healthy. Corners, they're iffy. But other than that, defensive coordinators, and even people that want to become defensive coordinators, say they're like corners coaches or whatever, they're looking at this like, damn, I would love to run this defense. Because he calls every play on defense. Doug calls offense. He controls defense. He's basically like a second head coach. So it falls on him on the defensive side. He don't blitz. And then there's certain times in the game I saw we're getting to Brees. I'm like, all right, we're getting to him. And then you get to him, and he's getting the ball out real quick, which he has a quick release. One of the most accurate quarterback there play the game. I get it. But you see that, you should automatically coach see that, all right, damn, we're almost getting in there, but we're not. And you know they're down that tackle. You know what? Let's blitz. Let's bring pressure this time instead of just rushing forward and think we can get through every time. Teams have caught up to that, okay? And then I look at Doug, of course Doug has a long leash. The guy won us the first Super Bowl in our Eagles history. We deal with Andy Reid for 14 years and didn't get one ring. Now I'm not gonna say dealt with because we had great seasons. 5 NFC championship appearances, only won one. Went to a Super Bowl, lost it, but we had every year success going into the playoffs. Even though we choked or lost, or he had clock management going wrong, we already know the whole story, the whole spew on that. So I'm not even getting into that. Anyone who's a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles or sports in general knows all about Andy Reid. It went down in Kansas City last year in the playoffs. The year before, we get it. But what I'm saying is his leash is long, dog. So I'm not looking at him. He's definitely not getting fired. I know that for a fact. But the coordinator's got to go. You got Mike Groh at, he was a wide receiver coach, and now you put him up as the offensive coordinator, which I thought was kind of smart at first because, you lost Frank Reich and John DeFilippo, which hurts like hell. And in my opinion, if you knew Frank Reich was going to go, which you didn't know, thanks, Josh McDaniels. Thank you for backing out of the Colts job. Yeah, asshole. Yeah, so he backed out of that job, and then they went right and interviewed Frank Reich and took him from us. But if we knew he was going, which we didn't, we could have easily took John DeFilippo and promoted him to our offensive coordinator, and we would not be in the hole we're in. But what happened was we didn't know Frank Reich was leaving, so he left. He's like, hey, I got a better opportunity in Minnesota. I'm out. And he was also offered the offensive coordinator job, if you remember, after 2016 season for the Jets, and somehow the Eagles blocked him from going. And I guess this time they're like, all right, you know what? The guy wants to become an offensive coordinator, and next set to become a head coach. He just won us a Super Bowl. We'll grant him his wish, let him become an offensive coordinator in Minnesota. All right? But what happens is you lose these guys. So Mike Groh, back to Mike Groh, like I was saying, he under Alshon had one of his best seasons in his career when this guy was on the Bears as a receiver. The guy, Robert Woods, and someone else I know, when he was with the Rams as a receivers coach, they had one of their best seasons. Oh, no, sorry. Was it Kenny Britt? I think it was Kenny Britt. Sorry, not Robert Woods. It was a couple receivers. I'm like, okay, cool. So he comes to the Eagles. He becomes receiving coach. Nelson Aguilar, who was a bust, out of nowhere becomes an actual threat. So I'm like, wow, this guy is changed things around. All year before he came, it was drops. In 2017, we hire him. Barely any drops. Alshon's catching things. Torrey Smith's catching things. Nelson Aguilar's turned around to a completely different receiver and player. So I'm like, okay, cool. So you look at that and you go, wow, wide receiver coach turns things around. People have career years under him. You know what? Let's make him the offensive coordinator. I had no problem with it. I didn't want Deuce Staley. I just thought he was just a running back coach. Now look at it. We should have went with Deuce. Deuce deserves. He's been here longer. He's been here freaking since Chip Kelly. Was he under with Andy Reid? I can't even remember at this point. But I'm just saying he's been here for a while. I look at Mike Rowe though. He's got to go. And, because him and Doug get together, and so does the quarterback coach, they all get together, and they put these game plans together. It's not just Doug in the office doing it. They all work together. That's what Doug did with Frank Reich. If you guys remember what I told you, Frank Reich, I think, controlled third down and fourth down situations on the field. He had plays that he made, and Doug will call those plays when we're in those situations. And John DeFilippo controlled red zone operations. So we're in the red zone. He controlled that. It was either one of them, opposite, whatever. But they controlled it. And then Doug just called the rest of the field. The rest of the field was Doug. So I look at that and I go, okay. And then I see how this offense is performing now under Mike Groh and whoever the quarterback coach is. He's got to go. He's got to get out of here. This offense has too much potential. The offensive line's banged up, I know. Carson Wentz is playing okay football, but he's got to go, and we got to get a guy in here who's solidified. I'm really hoping that, the Bucs, I'm hearing they might fire that whole staff. They fire that whole staff. Bring Dirk Cutter, who's the head coach of that place. They fire him, tell him to become offensive coordinator over here. He would do a good job. If the Broncos fire everyone, I think they got Mike McCoy's offensive coordinator. Bring him here as our offensive coordinator. Somebody. Something. That's what we need to do personally. I think it's the coaches and the players. It is the players, of course, but it's the coaching situations that we're in, and it's the offense. And the defense, too, we'll look at that situation later on. I am worried about the defense and with Jim Schwartz. But right now I'm talking about the offense. You got all this power, all these players to get it done. The game plans have been terrible. The play calling's been terrible. We got to get all official offensive coordinators in here. As crazy as it sounds, what I really wanted, I wanted Hugh Jackson in the offseason. I said, hell, look what Hugh Jackson did with Andy Dalton in the Bengals. I was like, this guy was phenomenal. That's how he got a head coaching job. Okay, and I thought I wanted him, but now he's back with the Bengals. Whatever. But that's just my theory on that. Now, we're at 4-6. We go against the Giants next week. The Giants are sitting at 3-7. Played two pretty impressive games against the 49ers and the Bucs, whatever. But we're starting to look like the 49ers and Bucs, so I can't say whatever. We verse 7-0. I'll be there next week. Yeah, I bought tickets back in June for this game. I'll be there. And you know what's the funny thing is? We fell ourselves in such a deep hole that if we lose this game, the Giants are tied with us. 4-7, 4-7. Think about that. The 3-7 Giants will be 4-7, and we'll be 4-7 because we're 4-6. And if we lose, we should win that game easily. But we'll see what happens. Go Birds. That's all I'm going to say. And you guys comment below on your thoughts. What do you guys feel? I'm just, it's all over the place, And I knew this was going to happen, so I'm not trying to get too upset about the loss because I knew it was going to happen. And then I'm looking, at Wentz having the bad game. But it's the whole entire team. This guy's falling down, this falling down. So then you're seeing a quarterback who knows that things are falling apart and everything's just whatever. So he's trying to make plays. He's trying to carry 11 other men on the offensive side of the ball. And that's when that happens. That's when you tend to make mistakes and you're doing too much and you're thinking too much and things are going sideways. That's the issue with him. And he's not even, this is only his first bad game, in my opinion. But that's what I'm trying to say. But go Birds, comment below on your thoughts. Let me know how you feel. On to the next, I guess.